And she said, Martha, hope has to evolve and change. And that simple line brought tears to my eyes because I thought so much about our experience with our son, William, when he was diagnosed with trisomy 18 at 14 weeks gestation. You don't know what the future holds for you.
Hi there, I'm Danielle Elliott-Smith, and this is Hope Comes to Visit. This podcast was born from the belief that even in the darkest times, light can find its way through. I'm really excited you're here to join us today. Wherever you are, I certainly hope that this episode meets you where you are. My guest today has made it her life's work to help people find their way through in difficult times. Martha Sharkey is the founder and CEO of Today is a Good Day, a nonprofit providing personal and financial support for families who experience the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. Martha and her husband, Paul, founded Today is a Good Day in honor of their daughter, Claire, and in memory of their daughter, Mary. Following their extended stay in the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, the Sharkeys recognized a gap in care for parents and families navigating the NICU journey. They founded Today is a Good Day to fill that gap to support families. Martha is passionate about helping communities and people grow and persevere, especially during challenging times. She has led the effort to advance the mission of Today is a Good Day, expanding its reach to 24 hospitals and organizational partners in 7 states over the past 11 years.
Let's take a quick moment to thank the people that support and sponsor the podcast. When life takes an unexpected turn, you deserve someone who will stand beside you. St. Louis attorney Chris Dully offers experienced one-on-one legal defense. Call 314-384-4000 or 314-DUI-HELP, or you can visit dullylawfirm.com. That's DULLE lawfirm.com for a free consultation. Martha, thank you so much for being here with me.
Oh, thanks for having me join you as a guest. It's great to be here.
It is. I was reading more about your story, and you are the reason that I am doing stories like this. People who have somehow taken an extremely difficult time in their life and said, I want to show people that there is a way through. And even more so in your situation, you are not just saying it's possible to make it through, but you're holding out your hand and saying, I'm going to help you do it, because when I was going through it, there were missing pieces, and I want to make this journey easier for you.
That's why we founded Today is a Good Day. Try and help others going through it.
I would love our listeners to hear a little bit about your story. So if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about you and Paul and Mary and Claire and how this started.
Sure. Well, thanks again for having me. We found out, my husband and I are proud Penn Staters. We went to Penn State, met there, got married at Penn State. And after we had gotten married, a few years later, found out we were expecting identical twin girls. Very exciting for our family, as you can imagine.
Absolutely.
And we thought, like so many, you get pregnant, you have a baby, you start a family. Mm-hmm. Not how our story went, but our daughters were due March 8th of 2011, and I'll never forget the day, November 9th of 2010. Something didn't feel right. I was at work. I went in. I was put into bed rest with big hopes to make it for several more months, since our daughters were not due until March. They arrived just 5 days later at 23 weeks and 5 days. Claire weighed 1 pound, 2 ounces, and Mary weighed 1 pound, 4 ounces. And we were thrown into the NICU, not knowing anything about it.
Had the doctors prepared you at all for the potential that the girls might come even slightly early? Was that even on your radar?
It was on our radar that they could come early, but in our minds, we thought we were in control of the situation. We were like, okay, we're doing all the things we're supposed to do. We have several more months. We're going to be in this hospital room for Thanksgiving, the holidays, kick off the new year. That is not how our story went. And we really didn't have any family members or friends who had experienced the neonatal intensive care unit. And especially with babies born so prematurely as our daughters were,
Right.
Before 6 months, gestational age. It was a really scary time for us. And when the girls were born, Claire was actually our weaker twin when the girls were born. Mary was a little bit stronger. And then 2 weeks into our journey, unfortunately, Mary lost her fight the Sunday after Thanksgiving. And as we said goodbye to her that Sunday, we went back to Claire, who was continuing to fight. She had dropped below 1 pound. She was very sick. And I still remember my husband looking at me and he said, we're going to leave here with 2, 1, or none. And we're going to be okay whichever path is chosen for us. And that was when the doctors had done their consult with us, actually before the girls were born. And so we weren't sure what our future held.
That is a very heavy experience to go from we're expecting twins to bed rest to 5 days later, you're in the NICU, not even having been familiar with the NICU, to losing one of your girls, to putting all of your attention on Claire and not knowing what to expect. How long was Claire in the NICU?
Claire ended up spending 103 days in the NICU. And a story that I always remember, we worked really closely with the medical team members, the neonatologists, and the rug had come for the girls' room along with both cribs. So my husband had gone home. He got one of the cribs out of the nursery. The rug was still rolled up. And I said, we're not going to put that rug out until we know that Claire is coming home, because we weren't sure. And I'll never forget the day that one of our dear friends, one of the neonatologists who took care of Claire and Mary, looked at Paul and me in the NICU and she said, you can put the rug down. Claire's going to come home. So she came home 3.5 months after being in the NICU.
Oh, Martha, my heart. It's funny. As soon as you said that about the rug, I thought you were going to tell me that you got to put the rug down.
Yes.
And those are core memories, right? You have those moments where you're just like, this was the moment that I knew we actually were going to get to take her home. Is there an average stay in the NICU for children, for families going in and out of there? I'm not familiar.
No, there's really not an average stay. Everybody's story is so unique and their journey is all different. And there are babies like Claire and Mary who are in the NICU, to full-term babies who had complications at birth or are medically complex who spend time in the NICU. And every journey is different. One of the phrases that families who may spend a week or a couple of days in the NICU, they say, oh, we were only in the NICU for 7 days. And our rule at Today is a Good Day is to never say only. So it doesn't matter how long that you're in the NICU. It's not a place that you expect to be or want to be. The medical team members are incredible, but it's a scary time. It's a experience that's filled with ups and downs, a roller coaster ride.
So at what point do you and Paul say, okay, there is a way that we want to show other families a little bit of light while they're going through this experience? We had no idea what to expect. There is a way that maybe we can make this terrifying journey a little bit softer.
I think that's a great question. I think it relates to all of the difficult times that many of us can go through. And for Paul and me, we looked back at those positive moments. So we live by the motto, 1 day at a time. In fact, in our care packages, we give 1 day at a time bracelets out to families as a reminder. And that 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute at a time. And the name of our organization, Today is a Good Day. We always tried to celebrate the good moments and the good days that we had with Mary at the beginning or with Claire during her extended stay in the NICU. But I think for all of us, we look at those difficult times and experiences that we have. Are there pivotal moments that really stick out to us? And for us being in the NICU, there were several moments that stuck out to us that were so important that helped us to launch Today is a Good Day. We met a former 23-weeker. He's now heading off to college. I was just texting with his mother this week.
Wow.
He came in with his mom 1 week after Claire and Mary were born. The nurses said, you and Paul need to go meet Sam. He is a 23-weeker. We went back. There he was playing on his mom's iPhone. He gave us so much hope and inspiration. We left that pizza lunch and we said, okay, Sam's successful. Claire can be successful. That was actually before Mary had passed away. And Sam, that little bit of inspiration inspired us down the road to start taking Claire back to meet with families when she was 18 months old. We met another family who had twins and we started going to dinner with them. So it really helped us to say, hey, parents going through the NICU caregivers, make connections with others who are going through this journey. Meet them, talk to them, build those lifelong friendships. I was just texting with her today. So there are those pivotal moments.
I love that. I love the way that you've created this community chain of inspiration, of hope, I learned a long time ago that hope is so powerful for us when we're going through experiences. Having that taken away is painful, right? When someone just rips that out from underneath you, it can be very damaging to your psyche when you're going through something. And it is equally and opposite powerful when someone provides it for you. When someone comes in and says, look what can be, hang in there. And that feels as though that is what you are providing on so many levels for so many families. So how did it start? What did you guys do first?
We started taking Claire back and meeting with families. We would host pizza lunches. And then my best friend from Penn State called me and said, I started your fundraiser page to raise the money for your 501c3. I'm tired of hearing you talk about it. So let's get this thing going. And the three of us got it started. My best friend, Paul, and myself, we just kind of worked together. She helped us raise the money to apply. My brother-in-law's an attorney. So we were able to do all the paperwork and everything we needed to do. And then my grandmother, who was my favorite person, another Martha, she passed away in July of 2014. We received our official 501c3 status in May of 2014. So we just celebrated 11 years. But in July, my nan passed away. And our family said, in lieu of flowers, please donate to a newly formed foundation. And we raised our first $3,000 to help purchase care packages.
Wow.
Tribute to my grandmother. And we have taken off since then. So we ran the organization on the side for a couple of years. My husband has a separate full-time position, as did I. We ran it on the side. And then at the end of 2017, we had a real heart-to-heart about the future of Today is a Good Day and how much it was growing and how we really couldn't continue to manage it out of our basement. And so I made the big leap of faith to step down from my full-time role to focus fully on advancing the mission of Today is a Good Day. And we now have 24 hospital and organizational partners, an incredible team of 8 with many NICU family advocates working bedside with families and program coordinator, and just really trying to be out there to help make a difference for NICU families going through this journey.
That's amazing. What's in a care package?
Oh, great question. So they have evolved over the years, but they started with one day at a time bracelets, a journal. We journaled every day. And the Today is a Good Day I started to share earlier, but we obviously had a lot of difficult moments and difficult days early on. And so anytime the doctors and nurses would say, today is a good day for Claire, or today is a good day for Mary in their daily reports, we always jotted that down in our journal. So we have a journal. Today, we have milestone cards, so families can record their milestones, and they're blank with a marker, so every milestone's different for every family. We have one day at a time bracelets, a copy of On the Night You Were Born, a custom swaddle from Kiki Pants, resource cards, our podcast card. We have a NICU Today podcast for families, virtual Navigate the NICU sessions, all different resources for families.
Oh, that's amazing. So how have you grown into having additional hospital partners? Are they all in your area?
A majority of them are in our tri-state area. We're located right outside of Philadelphia is where our headquarters is located, but we work primarily in this Philadelphia region into New Jersey and Delaware. We also have some partners in the Midwest and then a partner in South Carolina as well. So we've grown very organically through connections and meeting
Word
new
of
people.
mouth. So what are some of your favorite stories through this experience with Today is a Good Day? When you think about the hope that you are sprinkling in other homes, other families. I mean, when you think about it growing organically, right? You hoped that this would touch someone in a way that you needed when things were happening for you. And now you're connecting with these other families. How is it impacting you?
I think the biggest piece of this and what really just means so much is to look at the community that's been built. When I look at where we are today, it is because of everyone who has joined the Today is a Good Day community. When I look at our NICU Miracle Parent Network on Facebook and the 1,000 family members who are a part of that, who communicate with one another and ask questions and ask for guidance and help from fellow NICU parents. When I look at our volunteers who come into this office and who are across the country who weave bonding squares, which are a part of our care package to help with scent between the parent and the baby, that they're little squares. One goes in the isolate, one goes on the parent's skin, and then they swap them at night. The entire Today is a Good Day community, it is humbling to see how many people have come together because they've experienced the NICU or they know someone who's experienced the NICU and they just want to help. So to me, it is the expansion of the mission and the whole community that has come together to help us to get where we are today. It's just really incredible.
What's been the most surprising part of the journey for you?
Oh, goodness. Most surprising part of the journey, I think seeing how big it's become. If you would have told me that 11 years ago, I'm not sure I would have gone, oh, okay, well, I'll be sitting here talking with you, Danielle, today, and having this conversation. I think that piece of it. I also think just seeing how we've been able to expand our offerings, that our team is so open to saying, well, what more could we be doing? How can we create a better experience for NICU families, which is where our podcast came from and where our virtual Navigate the NICU sessions came from and our NICU Dads group that my husband started during COVID and our Coffee and Conversations we started and all these different programs that have just evolved over the past 11 years, which is not where we started in 2014, right?
Right.
And also, I think what I'm really excited about, it's grown so much beyond our family story. I mean, Claire is a teenager. She'll be 15 in November. Our family story has gone on. But to see how many babies and families are featured and how many people have been impacted by the mission and want to join in to help others.
Where can people find out? So I'm asking, this is a multi, usually I will end the podcast with where can people find this? But I think this is an important piece. Like, where can people contribute to what you're doing? So that's a part of this, but also what can people do to support your mission?
Well, listen, we can talk about it now and we can talk about it at the end, okay? So you can go visit our website, which is todayisagoodday.org. And on that website, we have so many opportunities to get involved, whether you're a NICU family and want to reach out and become a part of our NICU family community. We'd love to hear from you. We also have volunteer opportunities for corporations. We have at-home volunteer opportunities for families. We also have individuals who make bonding squares for us, and we go through 9,000 to 10,000 of those a year because we put 2 in all of our care packages and then give hospital partners extra bonding squares for families. But we have volunteers across the country who weave, sew, crochet, knit our bonding squares for us and send them to the office. I remember one day, I think we got 4 packages in from 4 different states. including Alaska. And
my gosh.
that is just really incredible. So all of those opportunities are available at todayisagoodday.org. And then if you're a NICU family going through the NICU, we have resources. We can send a care package. We have virtual programming weekly. We have programming emails that go out. So lots of opportunities to get involved.
And is that available even if the program isn't currently in someone's hospital?
Yes, they can reach out to us. We will send a care package upon request. We also have care packages available if family members are listening in and say, oh, I have a cousin going through this. My best friend's going through the NICU.
Amazing.
We have opportunities to order care packages to be sent on
That's
someone's
fantastic.
behalf.
And it's interesting because I'm thinking about one of my closest friends in the world. Her boys just turned 13, but she had boys that, and I don't know the exact, but they were in the 20s. Mm-hmm. They were when they were born. They were 20 weekers in that. They were micro preemies, and I know her story sounds quite similar to yours in that it was a complete surprise, and they were in the NICU for a very, very, very long time. And she's going to be one of the first people I call after I finish talking to you, because your mission will be something that resonates so very deeply with her. But living here in Missouri, is there an opportunity for someone like her, who was a NICU family 13 years ago, to help potentially start a chapter in local Missouri hospitals?
Yes, such a great question. Well, I hope you're going to connect me with her. I mean, that's for sure.
Will. Yes, I absolutely will. Her name's Sandy.
I love it. Hi, Sandy. Can't wait to meet you. Yeah. She can absolutely reach out. We have opportunities for care packages and ways for hospitals to get engaged with us in different ways. So absolutely.
I love that. See, I just think that one of the things I've loved to do my entire life is connect people anyway. And so this just, the podcast just gives me another opportunity to do that, connect good people with other good people and people who are doing good and hard work. Could you have ever imagined this version of you doing this type of work?
I have always been in the nonprofit sector.
Okay.
My entire career, fundraising, events. So the idea of working.
So in a way, it's not a departure.
No, I am a believer. I think we get put on paths in life that take us in certain directions. Mm-hmm. And I also think our experiences can lead us in certain directions.
I agree.
What I didn't share earlier, but we had our twins, and then we had a full-term daughter, Martha Rose, fifth Martha in the family. She's 10. And then we had a son who was diagnosed with trisomy 18 in 2018. And we learned that at 14 weeks when I was pregnant with him. Okay. And I carried him until 34 weeks, and he was with us just about an hour and a half before he passed away.
Oh, Martha, I'm sorry.
Thank you. But I think all of those life experiences for us have been poured back into the mission of Today is a Good Day. Mm-hmm. So we are focused on the NICU experience, but we know that NICU families like ours also go through loss. And so making sure that we have child loss resources available or can help connect families that may have, with organizations that may have child loss as a primary focus of their mission is really important to us. But I do think just from a life experience, it's all how you approach it. And for us, this was our path that we got. We have these conversations with our daughters frequently because it's very easy for us to say, this isn't fair, why this happened to us.
Absolutely.
But why didn't it happen to us? And so what can we do to try and help other people who are going through this journey and help them to have a better experience than we did going through it?
I love that. And I love that you're having these conversations with your daughters. It's so much of my life experience informs this podcast, right? The grief and the loss and I'm in recovery. So one day at a time has been a fundamental piece of my life. I'm just celebrated 6 years, and
congrats.
Thank you. And it's funny because I had heard the phrase one day at a time before choosing sobriety. And I had always heard one day at a time and AA and you know, sponsors and they were all just phrases to me. And I can remember sitting in a meeting and hearing someone say, I have to take it one day at a time, because if I think about the never again, it will drive me batshit crazy. And I thought, oh, there's actually a meaning behind one day at a time. Oh, so my goal is I'm making it through today. I see. And it's amazing to me how one day at a time has popped up in so many aspects of my life since it has truly resonated. And it really is beautiful in its simplicity, right? Because what you're talking to the families about, and the today is a good day, the beautiful simplicity of that is we're focusing on what we're doing right now. And
yes.
the squares and the scent and the love and the light and the peace that you're offering is focusing on right here, right now, and what can we do to love on you and your family and your child and your children. And I'm in awe of how you and Paul have taken, and your best friend as well. Your best friend for saying, yeah, I'm not going to let you guys just let it be this thing you talk about we're going to do. Mm-hmm. Is your best friend still involved?
She is. She served on our board originally. She now is on one of our committees, and it worked out great. You talk about people being in your life. She is a chief operating officer for a large nonprofit, and she has helped with strategic planning and different aspects of the organization in such a meaningful way. And we were pregnant at the same time. So her firstborn and our daughter, Claire, are best friends for life.
I love that.
And they are connected at the hip when they get to see each other. They don't live super close to us, but close enough. So she was at the hospital the day after Claire and Mary were born to be up here and be there.
How does Claire tell this story?
Oh, interesting. Claire just had her first podcast interview the other week. So she's out
really?
there. Luckily, she loves drama and theater. So she's all about the microphone and the stage. But she tells her story, and we talk about it a lot because I think it can sometimes be heavy. It's heavy for her that she has a twin who's not here. Mm-hmm. But we try to be as supportive as possible, and that she and her sister Martha Rose have lost two of their siblings.
Right.
How we talk about it, it's something we've had to handle with their teachers at school to say they may talk about it. Just want to prep you and let you know that we have 4 children. 2 are here with us, 2 are keeping watch from above. Mm-hmm. And the girls may say something about their siblings who aren't here, but we have always been very open about it in our family and in conversation. And I think Claire is as well. And she shares her story. She was just here today volunteering this morning at the office, but she has really become she's a walking, talking miracle child.
I suspect, not just because I imagine you and Paul are compassionate in spades, but it sounds to me like you are raising girls who are compassionate and heart-centered and who will know who they are and how to be good-hearted people in the world.
We hope so, Danielle.
Yeah. It's the goal, Martha. I know it's the goal, but
come on, as parents, we do the best we can, right? We hope, but that's what we hope for.
Absolutely. I mean, I certainly know that it's what we hope, but doing the good heart-centered work that you're doing and raising girls who have had to go through some hard stuff, right? And you've been honest with them about it. You haven't hidden them from it. How have they handled that level of honesty from you?
That's a great question. I should probably ask them more in depth how they've handled it, but I think they've handled it fairly well. when we look at, they are still very blessed to have 3 of their grandparents, but I think the idea of loss and is something that we talk about really openly in our family. So when we would go to the cemetery together, and actually my husband wrote a really wonderful blog post, a journal entry on our website about Munchkins with Mary and taking the girls to go have Munchkins at the cemetery. And how it kind of changed his perspective of how he talked about our family and what Claire shared with him that day. But I think I think they're doing okay with it.
How do you define hope?
Oh, hope is something we talk about every single day. We talk about community and hope. And that is a core part of our mission. Our mission is providing hope and building community. And what I love about the word hope, and I have to paraphrase from a dear friend of mine, she's a bereavement nurse at a local hospital here. She's become a very good friend over the past number of years. So she works with families on a daily basis who are experiencing child loss. I mean, she is just an incredible human being.
Angel.
And I feel so grateful to know her. But I interviewed her for one of our podcast episodes, and we had a real heart-to-heart. I oftentimes say, if a guest makes me cry on the podcast and I'm interviewing them, it's a problem. But
no, it's actually a good thing, because I mean, I've been made to cry too. But that means you're doing heart work, right? Because it means you're willing to be vulnerable with them.
But she said something, and I'll pass it along here. I'm going to kind of paraphrase a little bit, but this one line she said specifically, and I think it's so important. We started talking about hope, and she said, Martha, hope has to evolve and change. And that simple line brought tears to my eyes, and I had her explain it a little bit more. And she talked, and this is where I'm paraphrasing a bit, but she talked about when she works with a family and a baby's born that they hope the baby is going to survive. And if it looks like the baby is not going to survive, they hope that they can give medicine and help the baby to get better. And if it ends up looking like the baby is not going to survive, they hope that the baby will go peacefully and be peaceful, right? And that to me just made me tear up, because I thought so much about our experience with our son, William, when he was diagnosed with trisomy 18 at 14 weeks gestation. You don't know what the future holds for you.
Right.
And the hope of being able to, we knew he would pass away after he was born if he made it to live birth, based upon his diagnosis and what it was looking like. The hope that we would have a little bit of time with him, and our hope throughout that pregnancy really evolved and changed. And I think hope for all of us, we were talking about the motto, one day at a time. Look how that fits in so many different scenarios, right? Illness, what you shared going through recovery, what I shared about going through the NICU and not trying to get ahead of ourselves of what our future would look like if Claire would live or not, or what she would be able to do based upon her prognosis. All of those mantras certainly relate to all the different life experiences that we have, which I think is the same with hope. But hope has to evolve and change. It's just something that sticks with me all the time.
It really is beautiful. I hadn't thought about it that way, but it's interesting because there was someone special in my life years ago who struggled with addiction, and It's funny because I used to think about the word surrender at the time, because he would relapse quite regularly. And my initial hope during that was, I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. And then it evolved to, I'm hoping for the strength to handle whatever happens, because I have to let go of a piece of it. I can't control that anymore. But it as you were talking, I was thinking about how my hope has evolved over time. So you're really going to have me ruminating on that.
I know. It is such an important phrase. And I think for her, in the role that she's had for so many years, and and all that she has seen and worked through with families by their side. I mean, just an incredible person. But that around hope has really stuck with me.
That's beautiful. Tell me about your podcast.
Oh, well, it is the NICU Today podcast, available on all podcast listening apps and on our website. We have podcast episode featured with families sharing their different experiences that they've had. We also have lifestyle experts who happen, a lot of them, to be connected to the NICU experience, whether they had it themselves or they had a close family member who went through it. We also interview NICU nurses, doctors, and it's a resource for families. And again, it goes back to a personal experience. But when we think about driving back and forth to the hospital, being able to listen to a podcast that might have given us a little bit of hope or a little bit of guidance. And that's why we created the podcast. So we have over 80 episodes, and
amazing.
We've been doing this for a number of years now, but NICU Today.
I love it. And so do you also interview people who have had NICU experiences a long time ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
you're connecting me with your friend. We're on it.
I'm connecting you with people. Like, how do I? Because I think her story is powerful in that, I mean, her boys are 13, but I know that it was a very formative experience in her life. So there's that. We can talk about that later. But I would love for you to tell our listeners everywhere they can find you, and today is a good day, so that they can learn more and support everything that you're doing.
I love it. Well, Danielle, thank you for sharing a little bit about your story. Thank you for having me on your podcast today and
of course,
listening about Today is a Good Day in our family's journey. You can check out more about our mission and ways to get involved at todayisagoodday.org. You can also follow us on all of our social media channels at NICU Today on Instagram, on Facebook, and then our LinkedIn is Today is a Good Day. So definitely check it out. We share a lot of wonderful, inspirational stories from different NICU families, and would love for you to follow us.
Oh, Martha, you have been an absolute delight. And this has been hope and light and inspiration. And today is a good day. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm so incredibly grateful. And thank you, friends, for joining us once again. It is always so good for my heart to hear this light and hope and inspiration and stories. And I so hope that we met you where you are today. And I hope that because we did, you are turning around and sharing this episode with someone that you love and connecting to other people you know, and making sure that the people you know and love are getting a chance to hear these episodes. Remember to subscribe. And I hope that you will take good care of yourself until we connect again. Thank you so much for being here. I'm incredibly grateful to the people who support and sponsor the podcast. Sometimes life takes a sharp turn, and when it does, having someone steady in your corner can make all the difference. Chris Dully is a trusted St. Louis attorney who personally guides his clients through criminal defense cases with clarity, compassion, and experience. From traffic violations to serious charges, he shows up fully and directly. Call 314-384-4000 or 314-DUI-HELP, or you can visit dullylawfirm.com for a free consultation.